Would the Achilles pop no matter what? Even if he had been
was
healthy
the Achilles
the
issue the whole time, and did they lie about the calf?
I don't think so. I really don't.
I'm throwing them all out there.
I know. He's trying to start a bonfire out here. So, but no, I mean, be honest with you, I don't think so. I think it was a calf strain, but what I'm trying to say is that calf strain, yeah, they said you can't injure it more. Just like they said Looney can't injure it anymore. That there's nothing.
It's all about how much pain
you
can
how much pain
yeah.
can you handle.
Yeah.
You know, I think with Kevin Durrant, I think they were like, yeah, you can't injure your calf anymore. Well, he didn't injure his calf. You know, he tore his Achilles because with the calf, I guess the way it was supporting him, and then the Achilles just gave. I mean, and that's how it happens. Like I was saying, you got one muscle in your leg and another muscle connected to it. And I'm not a doctor or anything like that. So
yeah, God knows I'm not.
Right, but I mean, it happens a lot of times, is what I'm saying. You know, you got an ankle injury, so then you come out and then you mess up your knee because of the way you're walking because you had an ankle injury before. So it does happen. Do I think the doctors tried to rush him out there? I think if the doctors were trying to rush him out there, I think he would have played a couple games before this, because it's to me, it's just, I'm thinking, you and I talked about it before, it's a calf strain. I mean, I've never had a calf strain before.
Me either.
So I can't really 100% say.
I'm also not a world-class athlete by any means.
But I'm just thinking to myself, I'm like, it's a calf strain. I mean, I don't really know, again, but that's just my perspective on it. It's definitely going to raise a lot of eyebrows right now about the whole facility, the whole staff. You know, the GM saying blame it on me.
The tear-jerking press conference.
I'm not going to lie. A lot of people didn't like that. I saw that as this is my guy. This is my friend.
I saw somebody taking accountability for what happened. That's how I read it.
See, and a lot of people are saying that. I don't think that that's necessarily him taking accountability. I think that he's invested himself in Kevin Durant, and Kevin Durant's invested himself in him. They're friends. They're colleagues. You know what I mean? He knows how, like he said, how everyone misunderstands Kevin Durant and doesn't really get to know him and doesn't understand him, and he does. Yeah, and I think that's really what it more came down to. It's more of a personal thing. Like, he feels for a guy that he knows in his mind. He already knows it's a torn ACL. A torn Achilles. Like, he knows that this guy is out for at least a year. So he's like, this guy just busted his butt to get here to this game after missing 30 days. And then this happens? I think it's just an emotional thing. I don't think it had anything to do with him admitting to, guilt or anything like that. Because I don't think he... I mean, maybe he did, but I don't think he pushed Kevin Durant. I think Kevin Durant wanted to play more than the Warriors wanted him to play.
Oh, because that goes back to our point. He's a hooper, and what you want to do, if I'm a baller, I want to play ball. I don't want to sit in the sidelines. And I know people, and you and I talked about a little bit in the podcast, why is he not in the sidelines with the guys during the games? And come to find out, he wasn't in the sidelines because a lot of times during the games, that was his rehab sessions. He was rehabbing. When rehab was over, he'd find a small television and watch the game, or he'd be in the locker room watching the game. And also something I thought about today, with him loving the sport so much, I mean, it might sound corny. Maybe it was too painful to sit in the sidelines and watch the game. I'd rather be in the locker room than be on the sidelines where I want to get out there and I want to show people what I can do against this kid named Pascal Siakam. I want to show him what I can do, but I can't move. I can't do what I used to do. So maybe it's easier to be in the locker room. I don't know. A lot of raw emotion. My gut feeling at the end of the day is he will be on the Golden State Warriors next year, I think. Unless a team does say, torn Achilles tendon be damned, you were our number one target in free agency from the beginning. We're not going to change that. And also, that adds to the legacy of KD. I mean, you're talking about a guy who, you leave the Golden State Warriors, broken and injured. You go to this new team for all this money. Everybody counts you out. The team that you go to is probably not very good. If it's the Lakers, if it's the New York Knicks, or if it's New Orleans somehow, or something crazy like that, or the Clippers, they're a player away. You have a whole year to come back. You come back and lead them to the promised land. That's Hollywood. That's a Hollywood script right there, man.
Oh, it really is. And that, I guess that's kind of where it's at. It's like, does it go that way? Or does it go the other way with the Hollywood script, where you get paid all this money and then you go there and then you can't? And that's really what it is. It's a flip of a coin. Which way is it going to go? And if I'm any of those GMs, I have to weigh both sides of the coin. I'm not taking him off the board. When I said earlier, wash the board, I'm just saying wash the board.
Reorganize.
We got to reevaluate some other guys to see if they're if it's a better option to go towards them because they're healthy, or they're, a guy like Kemba Walker, a guy like Kawhi, those kind of guys. If Kemba Walker's obviously available, depending on what happens. So
now we go to Oracle Arena, Oakland, California for Game 6. I need to know what's your gut feeling, and what are the Pat Hilwick's keys to Game 6? Who's winning, and then what are your keys to Game 6?
Okay, so who's going to win? I'm going to stick with my prediction. I'm going Raptors in 6.
Okay, why?
The reason I'm saying Raptors in 6 is because I feel like the Raptors know that they had this game. They know it. They know it. They know that they made some mistakes with the offense late in the game. Kyle Lowry had a turnover where he tried to pass it when he got in the corner, and it went past Marc Gasol. I mean, there was that one, clearly. Kawhi took a bonehead shot to get a 2-for-1 with like 30 seconds to go.
That was horrible. I didn't know what the hell was going on there.
Why?
Yeah.
Why? There's no reason for that. So I think that, they're going to go back. They're going to look and see what they did wrong, see what they can do. Clearly, Siakam can't go 0-for-4 from 3 between... Between Lowry and between Danny Green, 1 for 10. That's not going to happen.
Danny Green has been trash.
Except for like a moment. It was a moment.
It wasn't even a game. It was a moment.
No, it was a game. Come on, it was a game. But that's all it really comes down to for me is I know that we know what Clay and Steph can do, but what can the rest of can the rest of the Warriors be enough? I guess is the question. Can the rest of the Warriors be enough to overcome what the Raptors are going to bring? Because the Raptors know if we lose this, it comes down to 1 game. Right now we got 2, so we're here there, but we don't want it to go. We don't want it to go to 7. We don't want it to be at home. We've already lost at home. So it's one of them things where I think they want to be that team. They want to be that team that sweeps. They're 3-0 right now in Oracle Arena this season.
Yeah,
3-0. That doesn't happen. The Warriors don't lose at home.
True.
So if you're going to be that team, you got to be that team, and you got to show that you're that team, and you really got to come out. Kawhi and I messaged you, and I'm not going to lie. I pulled a Drake. I jinxed the team.
Also, it's your fault that Toronto.
It is.
Hear that, Raptors fans? Patrick Hillig.
It is.
Follow him on Twitter
in the middle of Kawhi going on that 10-2 run or whatever, and Kawhi put the team on his back when he made the 3-pointer, and he came down and made the 3-pointer, and then he had that nice layup where he got a rebound and stuff. And I literally said, "Look, I told you it was going to take Kawhi putting his team on his back." I said, "This is Jordan-esque." Yep. And then right after that, went crickets.
2 of the greatest shooters of all time. Flip the switch.
Like and I will say this, and I was funny because that last play in the game, they said it was basically an audible, is what it was. Draymond Green said, "We're going to double team Kawhi." I don't know what the call of the play was, but we're double teaming Kawhi, and that's what we're doing, and that changed the outcome of the game. But kind of to get back to where I was going with that, I definitely think the Raptors are going to win, and I think the Raptors are going to win because I think that Van Fleet, Green, Siakam, I think they're going to make more than 8.
So the role players.
They're going to make more than 8 threes.
So you think Toronto's role players are going to do what they've been doing all year?
I really do. I really do. And I think Kawhi's going to have one of those 31-point games. So it's going to take Steph and Clay to have another one of these games that they had, if not more. I think Steph and Clay are going to need to score 35 apiece if they're going to want to beat them in this next game, because I think Kawhi's hungry. I think Lowry with that last shot getting blocked, knowing that he had a chance. He said it felt good when he left his hands.
Yep, I remember.
I mean, who knows? If Draymond doesn't block that and that goes in, it's over. And Kyle Lowry made the game-winning shot in the NBA Finals.
Talk about changing the narrative.
Right, exactly.
Jesus.
So I honestly, I do. I really am going to stick with what I said. Raptors in 6. It's going to be a great game. I think the Raptors win by 5 at least. Because I just feel like with the Looney injury, with the letdown of knowing you had Kevin Durant, now you don't have Kevin Durant again. I think it's just going to be too much, and the Warriors are just gonna. I'm not saying they're gonna crumble. I'm literally saying that they're just gonna get taken out by a better team.
All right. So for me, definitely the key for this game for both teams. If Golden State's going to win this game, I don't think you have to talk about the Splash Brothers. We both know they're good for at least 55 to 60 points combined. It's the other guys. What's Quinn Cook doing? Which Boogie Cousins are we getting? Draymond Green is one tech away from being suspended. So if they win the game and go to Game 7, you don't have a Draymond Green. Will he have that top of mind? Will he keep his cool and composure when a call doesn't go his way? What's Andrew Bogut going to contribute? That's the Warriors need to worry about the other guys. And also, what do they have left in the tank? It's a corny cliche, but it's real. After all you put into this game, yes, you have a day off or 2 days to rest, but there's travel involved and just the human body the way it is. Even as a trained athlete, they get tired too, just like we do. So to me, it's the role players for Golden State. What version of themselves are they giving? Are they giving an A version or are they giving you a C version? Because a C version is not going to get it done. On the flip side, for Toronto, you saw how Gasol and Ibaka were eating good in the paint. Those two, as a double-team big men combination, there's no answer for them. They got to perform. Danny Green, my God, dude. If it's not now, then when, bruh? They need you to contribute. I think Kawhi Leonard's a really smart basketball player. He's going to think about the things he could have done better in this last game. Just like the Splash Brothers, he is going to bring it. You already know he's good for 25 to 30 in this game. So for the Golden State Warriors to win, they need their role players to step up and contribute the best they can. For the Toronto Raptors to win, you just need to keep on doing what you're doing and do better jobs in late game situations of execution. Time and awareness of situation. How many timeouts do we have? How much time's on the clock? The coaching staff needs to not when they're on the run, let them stay on the run. Don't call a timeout because you feel the players are gassed. The guy who's leading the ship, Kawhi Leonard, looked mighty damn fine to me. He was good for at least another 2 or 3 minutes, or at least waiting until that under 3-minute timeout to get him some rest. So for Toronto to win, they're going to need a big game out of Danny Green, the Van Fleets. We need that 30-point scoring Pascal Siakam, not the guy who's been kind of a shell of himself. I mean, if he had hit any of those corner threes he shot yesterday, it's a different game. So that's what needs to happen right now for those teams to win, both sides. My gut feeling, I'm picking Golden State, man, to send this thing back to Toronto for an ultimate Game 7. I just feel like if one guy from Golden State can step up and help the Splash Brothers, they're going to take it to a Game 7. That's what I feel. Or they'll have nothing left in the tank, and Toronto will be popping champagne in Oakland. We'll have to see. Either way, like you said, it's going to be a great game. I don't see it being a blowout from either team. Toronto's not blowing out Golden State, and Golden State's not blowing out Toronto.
Well, the thing about it, you go back and look, 106, 105, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So, if you go back and you kind of watch the last couple minutes, we got Draymond Green with a backcourt play where they passed it and he took that. We got DeMarcus Cousins with the offensive foul, which gave Toronto the last final shot of the game.
The tip end didn't
We
count.
also got DeMarcus Cousins with the tip end didn't count. So, I mean, that game could have changed. It could have easily been a 6, 7, 8 point win for the Golden State Warriors. So the chips were falling to me towards the Raptors. They just did not perform on that last play, and I think I'm with you 100%. You were worried about you were worried about those extra timeouts when your team was on a nice run. And actually, to be honest with you, if you look at that game, Golden State looked more tired than the Raptors looked.
Yeah.
They had Golden State on the ropes.
Exactly.
It was like they were getting ready for the knockout punch and the
were.
bell rang. Like mid-punch. I'm talking about you got an uppercut from Mike Tyson coming to their chin and the bell rang. Saved by the bell. I'm like, dude, you can't do that. And then to be worried about timeouts and then to have a timeout in your pocket and not use it in those last 14 seconds, whatever was left? Come on, you got it. Nick Nurse has been a great coach all year long. Nick Nurse is one of the main reasons why the Raptors are where they are. Obviously, it's the players with Kawhi and Siakam and how they're playing. But I think that the mentality that he brings, he's not one of those, jumping around. He's not that guy. He said, all right, look, he's perfect for Kawhi, really. Yeah. He's just chill, laid back. Like, he'll get upset if he has to, but he's ready for whatever comes to him. But I think that in late game situations, I think Kerr has outcoached him, and I think he's let the moment get to him instead of just doing what he's doing for this entire season and just not letting the moment get to him. Even though he said he hasn't, I mean, clearly, you got a timeout. You got to take that timeout. Give yourself a chance to draw up a play.